Welcome to the podcast. My name is Father Bill W. I am, as most of you probably know by now, in long-term recovery from alcoholism and an Episcopal priest living here in Austin, Texas. And doing this podcast is really about going deeper into AA history, psychology, philosophy, and spirituality. And I'm interested in just going deeper into the program, and that seems to be what people are looking for. So if you found us, welcome. If you're new and if you've been listening for a while, please pass this on to other folks. We're trying to get this word out to as many people as we can. So in this series, we've titled it Journey to the Inner World. And I'm interviewing friends who are doing both two-way prayer as well as going a little bit deeper in the process and adding what I would call inner work. And that might include inner child work, dream work, shadow work, bringing that into our prayer lives as well. And it's not straight Oxford group or early AA. They did not do this that I'm aware of in the early days, but it is kind of a coupling of two-way prayer with some of the work of C.G. Jung and his use of active imagination, and he played an important role in the beginnings of AA, and Wilson was always very grateful to him for that. If you are interested in this practice, I'd encourage you to read Robert Johnson's book. It's titled Inner Work, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes. So this is part 2 of our interview with Donna B. And in the last episode, Donna shared her story with us and a number of her two-way prayer writings. And in this episode, she'll share some of the deeper work she's been doing in her morning quiet time. So welcome back, Donna. Glad you didn't run away on us. You're ready for this. And I wonder if you could begin by telling us how long you were doing two-way prayer before perhaps you started going a little bit deeper into the journey.
Sure. I was actually curious about this, so I had a little look to see, actually, because it's such a timeless space when you're engaged in two-way prayer. So I saw that it actually was 10 months
10 months.
after 10 months after I started doing two-way prayer that we moved into the Don, my inner child name.
And I found it helpful. Did you find it helpful to kind of set that safety net up with God, with your higher power, before going deeper into the unconscious, let's say?
Yeah, for me, it would have felt like a leapfrog if I hadn't done the higher power work first. It was became the foundation. It became the safety net. It became the safe place that what was next could evolve from. So it was actually essential in my particular journeying that that piece was established first with intimacy with Hashem, and from that place, I felt, I guess, safe enough.
Right, and if it's too much, Hashem is going to be there to kind of call you back and redirect you. For me, this has become kind of a form of divine therapy, if you will. And Hashem is running the show, and won't take me where I'm not ready to go, and yet will push me towards areas where I might not want to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that piece feels like the for me the evolution of trust. The continuum of trust, and the more that I did this practice with two-way prayer, the more I learned to trust.
Yeah.
And I found that what was happening with my two-way prayer is that it was being cradled, from the beginning with love, and then kind of closed out with great love. And I knew that that was dependable.
And those are the four absolutes: honesty, purity, unselfishness, and love. If this material isn't loving, it can't be from God. Throw it away. So that's a vital point. I think it was actually, if I remember right, it was your higher power who introduced you to the inner work and encouraged you to go do it. Perhaps you could read that first reading we've selected to kind of mark that for us.
Good morning, Hashem. Please guide me today. I am listening. Hashem. Good morning, sweet child of mine. Can you remember Donna, the little dancing brown-eyed girl bursting to perform? The great undiscovered actress of our time. What a great little performer. I have been entertained by her since you were little, my love. I am guiding you today as you wake, as you sit, as you sink into your beautiful heart. You ask for guidance. Listen, listen, listen. Get more comfortable in the silence. Keep beckoning the dark, staying present for the morning transition. Your tender heart cries, keep heeding the call. She calls your name. Ah, precious little Donna, she calls our name. Have you ever asked her to dance with you? How she loves to dance still. She is with you and she comes so full of joy, so full of life. And now the dance. She gets it. She listens so well. Today, feel guided. Don's always here too. Listen, listen, listen. Everything you need to know is in the silence, my love. Breathe and stay and listen. That's all, my precious daughter. And keep moving closer and closer to the ground. I love you, precious child of mine. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Thank you, this simple guidance. For this reminder of my soul's craving and heartfelt desire, I am settling into this moment.
So there was the invitation to go to find the precious little girl. The amazing thing, a lot of us, and I'll start with me, have terrible self-images, often coming from childhood and painful traumas and things of that nature. But the kid is always so beautiful. So I'm not going to disparage him. So when Hashem talks about Don, you light up. It's the innocence in us. It's the beauty in us. It's our soul. Does that resonate with you when you get in touch with her?
When I get in touch with her, there is a sense of deepening of self that is calling me. So it literally is like a gravity pull. When I opened to Don, was in many ways a kind of relief, as well as a release, that which has been buried for so long, occasionally paying her lip service, but really buried.
Yeah. I wonder, did you dance with her when Hashem invited you to do that? Do you recall?
I have. I know that I have.
Okay.
And I'm very fortunate. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter, and when
Beautiful.
I connect and dance with her, Don comes to life.
Right.
So that gets activated in that way, in real time, real life.
Yeah. Sometimes, when nobody's looking, I will try to put into my body some of the guidance instructions that I'm hearing. Like I was taken in yours, move closer and closer to the ground. That sounded so, sometimes things come up in two-way prayer that you're not going to come up with that. Closer and closer to the ground. And yet it's meaningful, isn't it?
Well, it really is. I always had, I guess, a belief or a concept that to be closer to God, you looked up, you went higher.
Right.
And so it was actually the complete inverse of that, where I realized, that's the quiet voice. The quiet voice is actually closer to the ground. Well, that's where I'm able to receive it the most.
Yeah. Jung said something beautiful. He said, those who haven't been able to find God have not looked low enough. And that's, I think, what he's saying. It's inside. It's in the earth. It's in the ground. It's all around us. It's not out there in some
And
distant
there's no
space.
sense of the personality
Yeah.
that that removes itself. What a break.
Right. Yeah. We don't have to. I wish they had said God as we don't understand God, rather than as we
Yeah.
do. Because we don't. And hell, I tried for years. I'm going to get this
Yeah.
thing. Some of your
Yeah.
early experiences with Don, was she amenable to your coming right away? Sometimes these kids hide under the beds and
Mm.
are angry with us for not having come or things of that nature. Did she trust you? Did she trust you immediately?
Oh no, it was not an immediate thing at all. She was hiding in a corner, head down, arms wrapped around her knees in a white room that had no windows or a slit of a window. And she was pretty much stuck there. I had to go look for her. It was a super gentle process. If I'd have gone marching in, I think I just would have terrorized her more.
Yeah.
So it was, oh, so slow and gentle.
And just as Hashem is gentle with us and patient, I think we need to mirror that work now with our kid. That really
Yeah.
felt right for me when I kind of came to that.
Yeah. Well, I really got the sense, or if you like, the connection, which is, Hashem, Hashemada, the father, the parent, for me.
Mm.
And in return, having experienced that, then I could be open enough to be that for Don Don that I had now experienced. I couldn't have done it without Hashem's love
Right,
and for
right.
me.
The kid holds all of our pain, I believe, stores it, feels
Mm-hmm,
it, has been
mm-hmm,
affected by it, but she
mm-hmm,
also holds much of our joy, our
mm-hmm,
energy. And
mm-hmm.
has that been true for you?
Yes, it's all true. It's all
Right.
true on steroids, actually, because the
Mhm.
pain is so intense. Her pain is so intense. Her holding, she literally became the cesspit for all my negative emotions and bad experiences. She became the dumpster, you know,
Right.
and yet when not in that place or moving through with Don Don, it's the same well, the same spring, actually, that all the joy comes from, and no one is as joyful and as childlike and playful
Right.
as Don Don. She's
And
amazing like that.
yeah, and I think you have another reading that kind of brings this out. It'd be wonderful to hear that now.
Sure. Okay. Good morning, Hashem Shali. It's Christmas week, and I feel the energies rise, specifically mine. Old habits of control and fixations are creeping in. What do I need to know, Heavenly Earthly Father, on this day? Hashem. Morning, darling Donna. This morning, crack the door open for Don Don to join us. I do believe she is eager, and there is always room for all at our table. Let's join together. I have waited for this day, my loves. As the separation diminishes and integration slowly takes hold, there's a lessening of the space between you both, as she naturally, formlessly slips right inside us. Donna, it's her home. She has longed for home her whole life, and now that she is alive and real and present, we welcome her home with us, just as it was before you split and took off. Self. Here she is. Come on in, my precious little one. A little demure today. Don Don. Ooh, it's so good to be here with you, Hashem and Donna, my dream team, the only team I ever want to be on. My excitement is palpable. I mean, honestly, I get to sit at the same table as Hashem himself and my best friend in the world, Donna, us. I'm feeling pretty lucky about this. So, what a dream come true for me too. I had no idea how much I longed for this. Don Don, come sit on my lap. I want to hold you in our excitement, in our moment of knowing that we are truly worthy of Hashem's love. But we are so loved and welcomed. It's kind of overwhelming to us to feel this worthy. This alone is a dream. Don Don, we did good. We do good. We are good and oh so worthy of a love so pure. Don Don. Well, I'm just going to hang out here for a while, you guys. In fact, as much and as often as I can, I'm feeling so very much at home. Hashem, rest my love. You deserve it all. Breathe and take that in. Breathe us all the way in, precious, precious child of mine. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. We are here, she with I, and I with us, the great we, allowing love to simply be.
I could feel the integration of the parts happening. Most of us are separated, disjointed, out of contact, out of connection with. And what this process, when I go deeper, starts bringing these parts together. There's a unity, there's a wholeness that it's moving me towards. I love your image of the table. Everyone's welcome at this table. And so it's like the ego has a role in this too. The ego has to sit at the table, welcome the people, the parts in, and then allow them to speak. Don't control them. That's our problem. The ego wants to control everybody. Let them speak. Let them be. Let them bring what they have. Be curious. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the kid feels it.
Yes, and the table is the permission. You know,
Yes.
that's what it is. You know, Hashem ever present, and the table is the permission to join. Take a seat.
And everybody's welcome.
And everybody is welcome. And everyone, as you say, is given that voice, because if I deny any aspect of my experiences, then it's like I'm denying Hashem.
And often surprised at how they act, how they interact. Sometimes I even get confused. Is this the kid speaking? Because there's so much wisdom coming from the kid. It just seems unusual. But I don't know. I don't get too worried about that. The kid was my introduction to worthiness. I didn't feel worthy. But the kid was worthy. I knew that. And by integrating him more into my own life, I participated in some of that worthiness. It was slow.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
It makes complete sense to me. It's as I referred to her before as the cesspit. Well, that's where all the unworthiness went. That's where all the not enoughness went. That's where all the self-doubt went. Yeah. So the more she became invited, and the more she became acknowledged and would speak to us, then it was, you know, this beautiful filling up of self-worth.
And you used your imagination. Wilson has a line, a quote, where he says, you know, imagination in prayer is really helpful. But there was a part where you invited her to crawl up on your lap. And did you, in your imagination, allow that to happen?
Completely. Yeah. I mean, it's so alive, and so I think the greatest kind of emotion is this tenderness. It's so incredibly tender, and fragile, but it's more tender than anything else. And it just makes me cry. The tenderness itself makes me cry. Is she in my lap? Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, you feel it. You feel it.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what brings prayer to life. That it's not just mechanical,
Yeah.
saying words over and over again.
Mm.
It's finding the lost parts of myself, bringing them into God's presence, and miraculously feeling them heal. That's the journey.
Yes.
That's the
I love
journey.
that. I love what you just said there. That's just really helpful for me because I have been someone who struggled with what is prayer. And I'm not very good at the mechanical process. This brought prayer into my life in a whole way of experiencing prayer. So thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. I mean, that's yeah, and it's easier for those who have difficulty with it. Those who are locked into it have a hard time with this. Sometimes I forget about the kid. Wonderful as he or she may be, I get busy and my ego takes over, and the kid gets lost once again. Forget to check on him. And we said he or she carries our feelings, the peaceful ones, and sometimes the not so peaceful ones as well. Um, I think you have a reading where little Donna asserted herself
Oh
to
yeah,
you.
she gets mad.
Right, that's right.
She lets me know. She lets me have it. So okay. Good morning, Hashem. Hashem Shali, what is longing in me and needed to be seen this morning? Hashem. Good morning, precious ones. Yes. Take a patience. Take a long, deep, slow breath, my loves. There you go. And here we are. Open your eyes to the dawn. Feast all your senses on this magical moment. Come all the way here with us. No rushing the dawn, is there? All unfolding regardless of you, inclusive of you, in spite of you, and because of you. So, what does Don Don need this morning? I think I hear you. Would you like to speak this morning, Don Don? Don Don. Good morning, all. I feel a little sad this morning, a little edgy and needy. Some strange disappointment that was dormant has awakened. You didn't come yesterday, Donna. You didn't even knock on my door. It only takes a moment to say hello, to knock on my door, for a quick yet profound acknowledgement that I live with us, particularly as more and more aspects of who we are present themselves. I feel like stomping my feet today. You know, I felt Dad come through to us a couple of days ago, the one that is largely responsible for how I am, the intricacies that compromise so much of us, the one that was absent for nearly all our lives, the one that left us, that is responsible for the sleeplessness, for the destruction, and then poof, he shows up. Well, a bit late, isn't it? I mean, where was he when we needed him? I mean, where was he? Too busy taking care of his own neediness, his own void that he was constantly trying to fill and never could. His own agenda was too big for us, his life too big and too empty for him. And how I knew that we would never be enough for him to stay. It's why we clutched and grabbed every moment we could with him, hanging on the ends of his coattail, happy to simply to be in his presence, no matter how little or infrequent. It was as if we knew he couldn't stay. Hashem. Precious Domdom, all of you, all of us, let's honor all the anger, the resentment and impatience. It's not yours to fix, my love, nor is it separate from the rest. Its needs are simple, as it longs for kindness, for softness, and being seen, felt and cared for is everything it needs. Today, go really slowly. Your dad, my precious son Ronald, he's not going anywhere, my loves. He can take your anger, your frustration, your hurt, because he knows that he will never abandon you again. And in this, he rests. And soon you will come to know it too. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Heavenly, Earthly Father, thank you for being with us this morning as we navigate the murky water of resentment. Your embrace is felt as our permission to heal. Feel.
I love in your, I just made some notes when you were speaking. I love in your question expressing your need. You didn't know what you needed. And I encourage people to do that. Where should we go this morning? What do I need? It's not that I have to bring a problem. I mean, I may have them and I can bring them, but sometimes it's just show me where I need to go and allow that guidance to come. Breathe. Oh, how often that comes up. It's like we forget to breathe, pause, get into the now, because that's where God lives. What I loved about this writing, the kid carries some anger for not showing up. That's a big one. It's re-traumatizing the kids. They got left behind, and I'm going to do it again. And I do it. Trust me, I do it. And the kid gets pissed at me. He's like, where the hell have you been? Now you want my energy and all this sort of stuff. Well, come on, you got to show up. We are a team. And that's what really starts coming through, that the kid has a place in the process. The expression I use, you don't give the key to the car to the kid. That's the adult's job. But the energy, the life givingness, the fun, and to be okay being angry. A 3, 4, 5, 8-year-old in your case, because that's when the trauma really hit so hard for you, when your dad died in the plane crash. And that's what's also coming through here, that the kid is mad about that. Loves him, hates him.
Yeah.
It's both, and we want to say, it's just be one, get rid of that other. No, it's both. I've listened to a little kid sometimes, I hate you, mommy. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Well, get it out, kid.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Part of this process for me, I think a very important part, as you mentioned before, is showing up with that same, an unconditional love. It's an unconditional love that I'm experiencing through Hashem that allows whatever it is to be okay. I think for so much of my life, I've defended and attacked. All right. No matter what the situation or scenario, I've done it so much. And
we're good
this
at
has
it.
taught,
We're good at
so
it.
good, expert. So this, in all these years now of working with Donna, I don't think there's one time where Donna has shown up with an attack or a defense. And part of that process, Father Bill, was being able to delineate what was mine and what was hers. Right. And that was an important piece, because there was also times where I put on Don what was not hers to carry. It was literally mine. And for that place it becomes more and more clear the more I commune with her.
Exactly. And if I don't commune with her, it gets messed up. Yeah. I get very frustrated because I'm trying to do the whole thing, and yet inside I'm 6 or 7 years old, and I'm trying to control the whole damn world.
Yeah.
Because none of the alcoholics in my life were doing that. Somebody had to be responsible, and I take that onto myself. And it's brutal. It's brutal. But if I can see it, it's the kid, then I can kind of sort it out. Tell me about it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The expanded place, I believe, that starts to allow for all. And with Don Don, as with Hashem, with me, there's just infinite love and space that
Yes.
can allow for it all, that can take it all, that can contain it all. It's actually an aspect of Donna that has amazed me.
Yeah.
There's an amazement as well in this process that I can actually be that kind, that loving, and that compassionate.
And that's what recovery is really all about.
Mm.
It's becoming the change. The kid will grow up. I become more free. Hashem becomes more loving. It is the coming together of these disjointed and separated parts. And you can do that through centering prayer. You can sit there in silence for 20 minutes. Or if you're ADD, like half of the addicts I know, silence doesn't work very well. Well, we allow them to come up. We don't push them down. We don't send them away. We just write about them. And there they are. And then they have a way of becoming, or I have a way of becoming more quiet and more whole. Kind of leads to the same place, but different ways to get there. So Jung had a thing, called it active imagination, and he encouraged his patients to talk to dream characters, also encouraged them to talk with deceased characters, advised against having active imagination with somebody who is still alive. I mean, we have that all the time. If I have a fight with my wife, she and I have boom, 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 boom. Not healthy, not very healthy. So he said, "Well, stay away from that. Go talk to her. She's still living. Work that stuff out." But with people who are deceased, and your dad very slowly, gradually was coming up, came very important in your story. And now Don Don is feeling his presence and wanting to resolve some of those issues. And so you had a session where Ronald, your father, appeared. Maybe you could read that one for us. I think it's beautiful.
Good morning, Hashem. Here we are again, God, just you and me. Some parts healed and some still broken. Speak, Heavenly Earthly Father, I'm listening. Hashem, good morning, precious ones. Come gather, come snuggle together. Always, firstly, we come together with this love, the love that oozes kindness, the love that oozes acceptance, this love that oozes love, this love, our love. Bask in the love, my loves. Always keep coming back to this love. And this you do each day, precious ones. And I thank you for giving that to us, for showing up with and for us, so that we may expand our love in you. Is there something missing that needs to be filled? What is the emptiness inside that seems never to be satiated? These questions are not new, yet consider, my loves, is there really something missing? And if so, let's explore it together. Don Don, good morning all. There is something that's bothering me. Each day we gather and I see Ronald, my dad, waiting patiently in the wings, saying nothing, needing nothing, yet dedicated and devoted in his love. This is where my greatest need is. This is the empty space that lives inside of me. This is the void and the sadness that never leaves. It's like a piece of me died when he left all those years ago. And I wait. I still wait for him. I long for him, yet he is so elusive and remote. Dad, would you like to come forward to speak, to be, to touch? Dad, my most adored daughter, my one and only, precious beyond precious. How I have longed to touch and hold you. I didn't want to leave you. You were my prize, Don Don, my greatest prize. You still are. So grateful that I got to experience this with you for a short time on earth. I watch you from a distance now, but I am in awe. I exist in awe, my precious daughter. The gifts you bestow upon me in my afterlife are like nectar for my soul. No, I didn't want to leave you. I guess I just didn't know how to stay, how to ground, how to connect with reality, always choosing fantasy. I lived with the not enoughness that my parents put on me in their ignorance. And from that place of not enoughness, I was constantly searching for fulfillment to hide the pain of their rejection and judgments. It wasn't your fault, Don Don. It was my continual searching to fill the emptiness that bored a hole in my heart. Damn, I have missed you so. How I miss picking you up, holding your precious little hand, watching you grow on this earthly plane. How I missed you. You can never know. This was the greatest cost, the highest price. And I'm so sorry for the pain and agony it caused you. I'm so sorry that it still causes you trauma, despair, and sleeplessness. All these things I'm so sorry for. All the things I would give to physically hold you one more time and shower you with the love that is so very, very alive in me still. You look just like me, Don Don. I would love to have shown you off, my little olive beauty, my tender, sweet, kind, and oh so sensitive little girl. I saw how it broke you, shattered you into a million different pieces, and I couldn't help pick them up. You had to do that alone, truly alone. And I wept and wept and wept. You were too little, too small, way too delicate to carry that kind of weight. How I have longed for this, longed for you, to touch and to see you, to hold and tell you how very sorry, how very selfish it was. So, so, so sorry, Don Don. I ask for your forgiveness. I'm on my knees, little one. Hashem, my loves, my precious, sweet, and sensitive loves. No need for more words this morning. This is very delicate. How these broken and tired souls are calling for healing. Let's simply come together in this moment of honesty, of courage and tenderness, and breathe with each other, filling up on each other. There will be plenty time for more, yet for this day, for this morning, this is simply enough. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. I knew this day would come one day, that we would be ready to receive you, Dad, that you would accept the invitation when offered, that you would show up for me after all these lonely years. We are here. We are so here, not going anywhere, Hashem. Thank you for your love and guidance always.
That's beautiful. I had training, when I was doing counseling years ago, to write a letter to your father or to your mother, to someone who has passed, but nobody ever gave me permission to hear back from them. Jung gave me that, and they have something to say, and your dad needed to say that. Needed to say it to you, needed to say it to Donna, and you heard it and you felt it. That's what my father did. He said, I always hated him. I was madder than hell. And he said, I was never loved myself. I had an alcoholic father too. And I never got what I needed from him, so I didn't know how to give it to you. But I want you to have it. And it's not too late. And that's the beautiful thing. I mean, that brings tears to my eyes. The healing that happens in some of these quiet times is just amazing. So he made amends. He made amends.
Yeah, he did.
Steps 8 and 9, there they are.
It's true. He made it. He made some. It was something shifted in me.
Something shifted. Good.
In my relationship with my dad, like since doing this work and him coming through, like there's something that has settled inside of me, something that rests more easily. And that accusatory, being mad, that edge has left me. Yeah, he was so, and is so sincere in his love for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I could feel that now in this moment. And I did hear the amends, and it was heartbreakingly beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. And Hashem, I loved it. That's enough. You've done about all you can do today. Let's just sit in the silence. Let's just soak in this. Does have a way with good timing.
Yeah, I probably couldn't take any more that morning.
No, that's right.
You know, I was filled full up, and it was just right.
It was just right.
You know, like the impeccable timing is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you've gone back and you've talked more, and
Yes.
and becomes a part of myself that I can now draw on, take the wisdom from, and benefit from. It has a place at the table too. Your dad has a place at the table.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
It's so right. And I think because before he made amends with me, he didn't feel worthy.
Right.
And so there was his unworthiness that, you know, and until he was able to express that, it was almost like there was a banishment from the heart, you know, and when it was the time, he was so ready. He just needed one little kind of come hither, you know, I'm here, and he was all in. I guess there was a piece of my heart that had to soften in this process and trust this process enough to know that not only is all welcome, it was all safe. And he always stood back and was always remote. And now he's just, you know, when I tune into my ancestors through this process as well, he's right there at the front, you know, right there with me, leading the charge.
Beautiful, beautiful. And he's got energy and wisdom and strength that you can draw from now. And he wants to give it, and give it in a healthy way. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Hey, before we close, and you sent me a writing from this morning. It was just so beautiful and so perfect a way to close. I'm going to ask you to read it because it's an example of how these inner characters have a wisdom of their own, and a needed part of myself that if I listen to them, I can draw that from them. And the wisdom of little Don really came through this morning, because this is not easy, sharing this kind of intimacy with people. You know, you're going to think I'm crazy. What, you know? Or you're going to know I'm crazy.
It's going to be confirmed I'm crazy.
That's right. So please, if you would read what came through for you this morning, and just the last thing, and then I'll shut up. But it's, you know, we go to this work for guidance. There's guidance that comes through this. You know, what am I going to do today? Well, these Hashem has work for me to do, and He's going to send me in the direction of doing it. And the kid has a role to play as well. Hers comes through so beautifully. So, if you would.
Sure. Good morning, Hashema. Here we are, rested enough. Great weekend. Beautiful soul group call last night. Hashem, Hashema Shali. And today we do the second podcast, which is about Don. Today is for her, for us, for all. How would you guide us? Good morning, little ones. Close your eyes. Always take the deep belly breath. You know it. You feel it when it touches the place where it stings. Catch the breath, my love. This is the umbilical cord with us. It's never cut, just like the cord between you and your children. This is how we are all connected, you see. If you could see what we see, the invisible matrix that is the umbilical cord connection. Every living being has parents who have parents in infinity. All eventually, every human life leads back to us. So today, let's call on Don Don. This is a big day for her. Don Don, would you like to speak this morning? Don Don. Morning. Thanks for calling on me. It's a big day for me, and I believe I know what is being asked. Today, I become publicly alive. Today, the brokenness of decades will be revealed. The smallness of Don Don will be shared with whomever receives it. And maybe, just maybe, it touches someone that needs to hear it. My bravado is in check this morning. Energy is calm. I'm not needing anything else other than you, Donna. You are always my staple, my love, my one. And if this is in support of you, then I'm all in. This recovery life has been a blessing for me. Whilst you have infrequently knocked on my door, it was never sustained before. And while you are not perfect, Donna, your attention, kindness, willingness, and love has allowed me to fill and grow. You came when I just rejected you. You kept showing up every day with tenderness and love, even when I was paralyzed in a corner with greasy hair, head face down, clutching my knees. You never gave up. And I started to feel like I mattered, deeply mattered. And after time, I lifted my head up, and there you were. I let you have it, and you didn't waver. And all your clever defenses never once showed up. All your stories and strategies melted away with me. And I started to breathe again, Donna. My love had finally returned from battle, put down her sword, and I came to life. Your love, like pure nectar for me. Your attention, the greatest sunshine that ever was. So today, we will take all of this with us, and Hashemah will guide and direct us. And in this, we let go and we trust. And today, we call my dad by my side as we share him too. What a beautiful accomplice.
Hashem speaks. This is it, my loves. Don Don knows best. She really does. As trust is continually being revealed through us, and relationships strengthen and grow. What pleasure to see Don Don calm, thriving, and forever in love with you, with us, our fierce, fiery, fearless little one. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Such gratitude for Don Don today, for her courage, her service, and her unbridled love. You go, girl. Yeah, you go, girl. And you did. You have, and you found that place within, and you go to it each morning, and you tend to it, and the parts that are out of order, out of sync, you allow them to be corrected, and your life has changed. Your life
My
has
life has
changed,
changed.
and it's full. It's as full as we will allow it to be.
Yeah, and this becomes so foundational, Father Bill. You know, that the getting up, the tuning in, the connecting, it becomes like that's the compass set each morning. And
That's it.
it is so helpful.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope this is going out on a limb for you. I know that it's going out on a limb for me too. It's really nice doing the two-way prayer stuff, but I've just gone deeper with it, and I think not for all, perhaps, but for those who are willing to go in and heal those old wounds, and those who have the ability to use imagination in prayer. Um, it just brings it to life. So I thank you, Donna, for sharing this with us, and I thank you, Don, for encouraging her to do it, and Hashem for uh, opening us up to all the different names for the voice that always sounds the same, no matter what we call him or her. And I want to thank you, listeners. As I say, we're gonna do this from time to time. I've got a couple of other series that we're going to start next week, but from time to time we're going to come back to this because I think this is really where the work is, and I hope it's helpful for you. If it is, please drop me a line. If you say get back in off the limb, I'm not going to do it, but you can send me a note to that effect anyway. I feel pretty guided in this, and again, go read Robert Johnson. He'll kind of give you some guidance on how to do this thing, not specifically within the framework of two-way prayer, but if you've learned the two-way prayer, you're doing that for a long while, and you're sane enough to open yourself up to this. Go ahead; it's going to pay royal dividends. So, Donna, I thank you for sharing. I thank you guys for listening, and keep coming back. God bless.